This video will look at air conditioning compressors. An AC compressor is a vapor pump. Liquid can damage it, and we'll show you why as the video moves on. The air conditioning compressors used in the heavy-duty world have typically got an electromagnetic clutch. I'm also going to show you how that works in this video, but realize that there are variable displacement axial piston compressors out there, typically at this point in automotive and on the imports, but they do exist. There are two variants of AC compressor that you're typically going to see on the heavy trucks. This one, definitely older. We're talking back in the late 80s, early 90s vintage. Climate Control Industries, the black box. It's a reciprocating two-piston compressor with a crankshaft. Very, very prone to failures of the mounting bolts and the compressor shaft seal due to vibration, but otherwise a really good compressor. These are definitely more the norm now, the newer standard. Sandon builds them for the most part. They're an axial piston compressor, a lot less prone to vibration problems and compressor shaft seal failures. Why don't compressors like liquid? Well, what you have to realize is the compressors used in air conditioning have reed valves. Now, this is more of a picture of the Climate Control Industries black box, but it's a great picture to look at. Realize that the axial piston compressors also have reed valves that function the exact same way and are prone to the exact same problems. When the piston is going down, a low pressure area will be created inside of the pumping chamber. Now, that low pressure area is going to be filled by incoming refrigerant from the low side of the system. The reed valve here will open and refrigerant will be able to flow past. Now, the low pressure created in the pumping chamber as the piston moves down also acts to seal the outlet reed valve. So inlet valve opens, outlet valve stays closed, and the chamber fills up with a low pressure vapor. When the piston comes up, the exact opposite happens. The pressure inside of the pumping chamber is going to become a higher pressure. Exactly how many psi varies depending on how much refrigerant is in the system and what the ambient temperature is, and really it's irrelevant for this purpose. Just realize the pressure will rise as that piston comes up. So as the pressure rises, the inlet reed valve is going to get pushed up onto its seat and it's going to seal off. The outlet reed valve is going to lift off of its seat, and that high pressure vapor is going to be allowed to flow out the discharge. So where do we run into problems with liquid? Well, vaporized refrigerant is able to compress. So if I fill this area, this pumping chamber, full of a vapor, and the piston comes up, it can compress that vapor and it can get it out through this hole, which in reality is an orifice. So once the reed valve lifts off, we've still got an orifice there. If, on the other hand, we fill this pumping chamber with liquid, that same volume of liquid has to be able to get through the reed valve or the orifice as the piston is moving on the upstroke. Liquid is not nearly as compressible as vapor. So if I can't get that amount of liquid through the orifice in the time frame that I need to get it through the orifice, the solution is simple. The orifice will just become bigger as the cylinder head or the reed valves blow apart. This is the electromagnetic clutch assembly. You'll notice in air conditioning, typically when you first turn it on, you'll hear a definite click. Well, the click is the electromagnet. Now, it starts with this stationary coil. And really what this coil is a whole bunch of wire wrapped around a piece of iron. And it's through the control system, which will be dealt with in other videos. We're going to feed it power, 12 volts, and the other end of the coil is going to be grounded. When we do that, that stationary coil is going to become a very powerful electromagnet. Now, inside of the stationary coil, we have a pulley bearing, good sized ball bearing that's sealed for life, and that pulley bearing actually presses right into the clutch pulley itself. Comes in the backside this way. So coil goes onto the compressor housing and it's held in place with a snap ring. It does not rotate. Bearing pushes into the pulley, which also rides right over this area now on the compressor. And there's clearance in between the pulley and the magnetic coil. So coil stationary, pulley rotating. The final piece of the picture is this piece called the clutch hub. The clutch hub, if you notice here, we've got a keyway, got a little spacer here. That clutch hub is actually a little bit of an interference fit over the drive shaft, okay, of the compressor itself. If the hub is rotating, then that means the compressor drive shaft is rotating. There's also a clearance, a running clearance between the clutch pulley and the clutch hub of about 15 thousandths of an inch, somewhere around that neighborhood. Now, when the engine is running, the clutch pulley is going to be rotating at all times on that bearing. However, the clutch hub does not necessarily have to rotate. It can be stationary because we have that 15 thou clearance between the two parts. However, when the call for air conditioning comes and the system energizes the stationary electromagnet, the magnetic field created around this electromagnetic coil is going to turn this rotating pulley also into a rotating electromagnet. And the pulley is going to grab hold of the clutch hub and pull it nice and tight to the pulley itself. That's where you get the clicking noise from. So when we energize the coil, we turn the pulley into a magnet, grab the clutch hub, lock it to the pulley, and force that compressor to start rotating.